everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a very happy, healthy, and a productive day today. So in today's video, I'm so excited because I get to talk about something that's new. It's completely changed my life and it has been absolutely amazing in every way, shape, and form. And I want to share with you my experience with acupuncture. I'll be sharing with you why I started it, the procedure, or the time that I'm there. Of course, if you have any questions that I didn't get to perhaps brush upon, you can just leave the questions in the comments down below and I will answer them as best as I can. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So I started going through like a journey of, healthcare and nourishment and more self-awareness. A few years ago, I started seeing a nutritionist and I started loving learning more and really taking into account everything that I would put into my body. I'm not perfect. I love eating Mexican food. I love eating nachos and pizza. And I think those are one of those comfort foods that I will never ever stop eating. But of course, I'm more conscious of how often I eat it and the amount as well. So I started realizing what I was eating, what I wasn't, and I just became more in tune with my body throughout that process. I started realizing, what felt good in the tummy, what didn't, depending on what I would eat, how reactive my skin was with acne, depending on the foods that I would eat. I noticed that I wasn't drinking a lot of water. So little by little, this transition into, just becoming more aware and more in tune with my body, I started to go more of the holistic route, taking my vitamins and minerals on my nutritionist and I were working together with making sure I was taking my amino acids. And there was a point where I became very anemic, especially during the time of the month. And I just instantly noticed a difference in my body. I became very sleepy and I realized then and there that there was something wrong. Long and behold, I was anemic. Not only was I anemic, I was also very low with ferrous sulfate, which means I was lacking red blood cells, which is pretty scary. That journey led me into finding more of a holistic route for pretty much everything. I started getting acne, I want to say around the age of 13 maybe. My parents were very supportive. They took me to every single dermatologist on the face of this earth. So I tried topical creams, antibiotics, Accutane, which is such a strong medication for such a young girl to take, but it was very aggressive and I really wanted just the cure-all. But I also wasn't taking account, and my parents weren't either, my diet. The doctors were only trying to cure my acne topically and not really looking on my overall body. As I started to grow and mature, the acne subsided and it would linger every once in a while as I became an adult. And then fast forward, pretty healthy overall throughout the years. I can't complain. I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed and I thank God every day. Fast forward, I started working out a lot a few years ago. It became a huge part of my life. I started doing HIIT training. I ended up hurting my back and I started experiencing intense back pain in my lower back. So doing certain movements would prohibit me from doing it. So if I would lay on my back, it would hurt. If I would lay on my side to fall asleep, one of my legs would go completely numb, super beyond painful. I started seeing a doctor, a chiropractor, going to physical therapy, and it turns out that I had sacroiliac joint dysfunction. So it's pretty much the muscles in your bikini line for girls, right? For our bikini line, there are muscles inside of our hips. And I had some type of tear or pull and it goes all the way up to your sciatica nerve, affecting your lower back. It just became out of control. I started experiencing a shoulder pain on my right arm. At first it was just in the front of the shoulder and then it started to radiate. I was experiencing intense pain and of course it makes you sad, it makes you upset, that I'm so young and I'm not able to perform these workouts that you see girls on Instagram doing and seeing the results so quickly because their workouts are so intense and I was eating clean. I started looking into acupuncture because I want something natural and holistic. let me try acupuncture. So January of 2020, I had an appointment with her, and it was just like a consultation, and she was absolutely amazing. I felt like she wasn't just an acupuncturist, she was actually more like a therapist. Like, she really took her time and listened to everything that I was telling her, and really taking the time to look at me, Vanessa, not for different body parts. She wasn't just looking at my skin topically, she wasn't just looking at my arm, she wasn't just looking at my back, or whatever possible issue it could have been that she was going to diagnose me with. She was looking at me as a whole, my sleeping patterns, my emotions, the way my mental state was at the time, my personality, my eating habits, my activity, everything, my whole body as a whole. And truly, we are a whole body. Everything functions together. Initial appointment was scheduled for like an hour, but I only saw her for like 30 minutes, and that was $65, I believe. We covered pretty much everything, because prior to going to her, I had to fill out a huge packet just describing the pain, describing why I was deciding to see her. So far now, and today's July 21st, I have seen her a total of 7 times. But I have actually notes that I have written down, and I'll share them with you. So the first day that I went to see her, she knew I was going in for problematic skin. She knew that I was going there for my back issues, and she knew that I was going in there for my arm, specifically my right shoulder. That could possibly be my rotator cuff or something. And then of course other things she was going to help alleviate as well, you know, balancing the hormones, or helping with digestion, stress, sleeping patterns. When I got there, get undressed. Girls have a choice whether to keep their bra on or off, but honestly, if you're there and you're paying all that money, you're there to get the full thing. So that bra comes off. Of course, you do keep your undies on, and you lay in this warm bed, and she comes in and she started applying the needles. The needles didn't necessarily hurt specifically when they entered like the surface of your skin. What I would say was the painful part was where the areas were problematic. And she explained this to me, that once you feel the needle going in and you feel like a jolt of electricity or a jolt of pain that literally makes you flinch, it's because the chi in your body, the energy in your body, is going to that specific area where there's a problem, and it's your body's signaling, all right, here's the issue, we need to fix it. So specifically, she put it in both of my ears, like 3 and 3. She always puts one in the middle of my forehead. She puts 2 on my head. She puts 2 on my hip area, almost like where our ovaries are, I would assume. And of course, that's to balance the hormones, because hormone imbalance can cause acne and intense cramping in the time of the month, or excess bleeding that can make you very tired, and of course deficient in iron. She put a ton on my legs, on the inner thigh, inner legs, on my feet, to start relieving the muscles on my back. Once I was laying there and all the needles went in, of course my palms were sweaty, and I was so nervous because I've never experienced such a thing. She did tell me that I was going to feel very loopy. I was going to feel very out of it, almost like you're in a trance, almost like you're high. I can't tell you that's exactly what it feels like, because I have never ever been high before. I mean, as far as like extracurricular activities, never. But I know a little bit of what it feels to feel loopy when you've been sedated at a hospital, of course. Going under a procedure, I know what that feels like, and it definitely felt a little bit like that, but not so intense. So I definitely felt very loopy, very sleepy, like I could have knocked out, and that's not me. I'm not one to take naps. I did feel very relaxed, and as soon as she put the needles in, you just lay very still, shuts the light off, and she leaves her room for a good 35 minutes, and I literally knocked out, like fell asleep completely. She comes back into the room, and then you flip over on your belly, and then she applied a couple on my neck, and then down my back. This for me was the most intense because the minute the needle went in the problematic areas, it felt like a jolt of electricity that it only lasts for a couple of seconds, but you immediately feel like, oh my gosh, I have a problem here. There have been a couple of times in the 7 sessions that I have gone that the minute the needle touches like the surface of my skin, you almost feel like that release that the muscle has, and it's almost like a weight comes off your shoulders. As the session started to progress, she pretty much would apply the needles in the same area. I don't think I mentioned she puts 2 on my face right here. She has put 2 right here on my chest, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, but 2 here on the side of my chest, a lot on my tummy, underneath the belly button area, and pretty much on the inner thighs, and a lot on my feet. When I am on my belly, she puts them all the way down my back, and actually she'll pull down your undies a little bit and insert them right in your butt, like on your butt cheeks, and that really targets the sciatic nerve and just that muscle area, all of the muscles in the back, and it just feels very painful in the beginning because that's where my problem is, but oh man, does it feel so amazing after. Overall, I would do my research on it 100%. If you're someone that's very in tune with their body and prefers and wants to really focus on more of a holistic route and Chinese medicine and really steer away from Western medicine, I 100% recommend you look into acupuncture. I can't express how amazing I feel. I'm not saying that I never experience pain, because if I fall asleep the wrong way, if I sit down with a improper posture, if I slouch, if I do an intense workout that honestly is just not for me and my body, I will experience some type of discomfort. I have to say that my shoulder was the most intense about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and for the last couple of days my shoulder has been 90% back to normal. I can actually move my arm up and down, I can turn it around and grab something. I actually went to the gym and lifted about 5 to 8 pound weights and just did shoulder press, and I felt completely normal. I felt completely fine. We still work on my shoulder, so she'll put a ton of needles on my shoulder. First thing I immediately started to notice a difference in is my skin. I wish that I had more pictures when I was younger, when acne for me was such an issue. And if I could show you the difference between then and now on my overall skin, the glow, it's like I'm a different person. It's insane, and it's so crazy to hear me even talking about it because it's something that I don't even like to talk about. Overall, it's my experience, and I wish that when I was younger, I had the information that I had now, and I wish that someone exposed me to a holistic route, you know, Chinese medicine, and really taking care of my body in a more natural way, because healing really does come within our body. It comes with what we eat, how we think, how we sleep, our emotions, how we feel on a daily basis, and how we live our life. I really, truly, from my core, believe that. I have to say that going to acupuncture has made me feel whole. It has given me hope that although our bodies may fail us sometimes, there is a way that we can help it restore with more compassion and more kindness, instead of taking so much medicine. And although there are people that need medication, and I'm not 100% against it, there are times where I have severe headaches and I might need to take a Tylenol, but if I can not take it and survive and pull through it, then I will. I can make another video about that too, and just little things that I use to help with the little aches and pains throughout the day or whenever I need something. If you want to know more about that, you can just insert a comment below or give it a thumbs up, and I will make a video on that as well. But overall, I have to say acupuncture can get a little pricey because it's not covered. At least my insurance does not cover it since it's Chinese medicine. So like I said, my initial visit was about $65. And then every appointment after that, I'm there for about an hour and a half, and it's $85 every single time. She sometimes doesn't just do the acupuncture, sometimes she'll do cupping. Sometimes she won't just do the acupuncture, sometimes she'll do cupping and gao sha. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it just relieves all the tension of muscular pain. Overall, I have seen a great difference in my complexion. I no longer break out, which is very rare for me. My back pain has been significantly better. I have days where I wake up a little achy, but with stretching in the morning, as soon as I wake up, it pretty much goes away. My shoulder is back to normal. I don't think I need an MRI. I definitely don't need an X-ray. And I definitely don't need to do physical therapy because now I know that certain movements for me, my body just doesn't accept. And so sticking to light jogs or intense runs have no effect on my body. I feel 100% great. So I'm sticking to running, and I'm sticking to going to the gym and doing my own lifting weights, not going crazy, and continuing to eat healthy and listening to my body. If one person could get something out of this video, I would be very happy, because if your story is similar to me and you've been experiencing acne since we were very young and you're an adult and you're sick of it, if you've been experiencing back pain, I know what it feels like 100%. You are not alone. If you are experiencing something completely new where you think it's probably bigger than you, and like I said, my shoulder was completely new for me, and I was terrified that I tore my rotator cuff and I was going to need surgery. I got out of control. But do your research. I'm telling you, because this has worked for me, and this is my experience with my body, and these are the pains and aches that I was having, and acupuncture has helped me heal 90% of it. And do your research first, study it, see what Chinese medicine is all about. If those treatments are going to be beneficial for you and what you're experiencing, I would call my insurance to see if your insurance covers these procedures or these treatments. Mine specifically doesn't, but yours might. You never know. And then of course, 3, I would really go in with an open mind. Go in with an open heart, that only you know your body, only you experience the pains and the things that you want to change. And so you are the master of your body. You get to make those decisions. Of course, I am not a doctor. I am not an acupuncturist. I'm not a nutritionist, but I have worked with my primary care doctor that listens to me, that respects my decisions. She is all for it. She doesn't think I'm crazy anymore. She supports me and encourages me. I've talked to nutritionists, and then my acupuncturist listens to me, and she's helping me, you know, through this journey. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It just lets me know that you're enjoying this content and you would like for me to produce more. If you would have any other questions regarding acupuncture, just leave the questions down below and I will get back to you. And I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye.